went live. That took like 10 minutes for it to go live. Let's see if I can have a lighting. Either way, y'all. Oh, that's fabulous. That's so lovely. It made me foggy. Either way, y'all. Normally I'd be over there in the light, but it's raining currently, which is also why no hat. It's the weird kind of rain too, the dangerous, scary kind, because it's sort of sprinkling, not really raining, whole lot of lightning storms. And because every moment's a teachable moment, can't help it, gonna talk to y'all about it. Part of the big reason that this is so dangerous right now, especially in southern Georgia where I'm at, where we got our natural trees and oaks and elms and our natural pines, which can get struck by lightning, catch fire, go out, and drop seed, we've instead replaced them with a whole lot of mimosas and Bradford pears and plants that are made for Asia. So when they get struck by lightning, they burn up real good. Here's the problem. On the fire islands, when a plant catches fire, spreads its fire, and burns out, it helps its natural environment. Here in Georgia, when a plant catches fire and spreads fire around it, it catches the whole damn field. I don't think I should have to explain to any of my viewers why it is firefighters are oh so busy during storms like this. Also, y'all, I think there might be something wrong with like my jaw or something like that, so I might be skipping out on a few. Yeah, it's still going out there. There's a reason that I'm Miss Mary to come pick me up for work. I wouldn't want to walk in it, and according to all the health experts, you should not be out in this weather if you can avoid it. If there's lightning and it's raining, you still should try to avoid it, but you're safer than this. Right now, wherever the lightning strikes, it's hitting it with 100% force. There's nothing getting deflected or absorbed through the water around you. So if I were to get hit with lightning right now, I'd be getting hit with the full amount that lightning's putting out. I mean, either way, it's not something you should look forward to, but it's like, hey, would you rather swim with this sand shark or this bull shark? Either way, it's going to try to bite you, so take your pick. I worry about y'all and me and everybody else in weather like this. Because used to dry light once or twice a year, maybe. This is the 6th one we've had this year so far. And if you'll notice with me doing this with my... But what's happening right now is the storm, the rain up in the atmosphere is dropping down, and it's actually hitting a heat bubble. Because that's how heat bubble, like picture those two beams are the heat bubble edges. Georgia's the concrete pad under. Now, with the heat bubble being the way it is, as the rain comes down, it disperses off that heat bubble, turning to steam, which is why we have all the cloud cover. Now, the lightning, which would normally come from the ground up really fast, now is going straight that way, but without any water to deflect it, it's hitting the cloud cover up above. It's sort of like that electrical ball we all had back in... Okay, now I'm sort of probably telling myself. My high school had those really neat electrical balls with the glass on top where if you touched them, it would send the electricity right to your hand at your fingertips. Then when you pressed your palm, it would go across. There's a name to it. I think it's a Dyson something, but I'm probably very wrong on that. Either way, what I'm not wrong on and what could help a lot of this as far as our survivability as the keystone species here is... Y'all now say that in the least threatening way you can, because even me saying that, it feels like, oh, are you threatening arson? No. Crepe myrtles, not magnolias. Technically, they are a native species to Georgia. They're pretty, right? They're still dangerous, but not nearly as because of their thick leaves. Every time I turn the camera around because I think I'm going to get a really pretty lightning strike, it doesn't happen again. Roughly about 8 miles off. Fun trick for if you're in the lightning. Once you see light, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, or count your thousands out, but 1 second roughly equals 1 mile. So, just to help keep you relevant, because I do a lot of trail walking, And if you were, say, on a mountainside on the Great Gap or one of those other ones, and you came upon a storm like this, if you were out in nature right now, no like structures and shit around, I would highly suggest finding a place that's low, but not in a ravine or where water will flow through, and just hunker down. Watch the light and listen for the lightning. Once you can count to about 30, I'm hearing something through my headphones. This is weird. These are very cheap headphones. I'm hoping these are acting as a mic through this. But, yeah, tech also starts acting anywhere else. I just saw like, oh, it's a moth. It's our lunar friend. Well, a different lunar friend. I hope it doesn't bite me. I can't make that joke in the dark. Lunar moths are completely harmless to getting bit by because they lack a mouth. 1 second, I'm gonna see if I can get this fellow on camera. I don't want the fucking... Sorry, y'all. There we go. Lunar moth. They are quite large. And currently this little fella is desperately looking for a place to either lay their eggs or spread their genetic material. Come on, little fella. Come on. There we go. Come on. See, you gotta be careful when you're getting them off of you, because it's real tempting to just pull, you know? There we go. But we gotta be careful because they are our little friends. And much like our little friends, their very little legs are very breakable. So you want to be very careful if they latch onto you. Just sort of slip your fingers up under them, nail first if you can. And typically they'll, like a parakeet, just walk right onto your hand. Like I said, you have nothing to fear from them because they literally can't bite you. Now I'm going to try to avoid touching my face with that hand for a minute, because I probably have its lunar dust or whatever you could call that on it, and it would probably be very agitative to my skin. But now, yeah, every time I think the storm's past, it lights up again. But the biggest thing about these storms is if you're caught in the wild in them, you want to avoid being outdoors. Like any lightning storm, but more, you want to, like for example, say I get the message from Mary, hey, sucks for you, need to make your way to work. And say that lovely police officer over there couldn't give me a ride on Domain. What I would do then, knowing that I have to go and there's no avoiding it, I would then basically crouch down and make myself small, and then very carefully, as quickly as I can safely, move from one high point to another. Again, trying my best to avoid being out in the open at any given point because, oh, that's beautiful. This is dangerous, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. The only reason I feel comfortable here at the moment is, one, there's a lot of tech in that car. And if something should hit me, I'm assuming he's going to at least be a good first responder and get my ass to a hospital. But point two, metal pole, metal roof. It's not ideal, but in the event that something hits, I'll probably have a Faraday cage around me of sorts. I love storm watching, y'all, but I also don't want this to be, so y'all heading into work, this might be my final video. Hope for set. And then the camera just light up and, well, that was the last footage we had of hiking. I don't know. Seems like a waste. This is just a way to kill time in between my boss coming to get me. Oh, also a bit of how going. Eventually I'll be able to have sponsors. My thought, if I can do it, is I'm going to put my Ko-Fi under my sponsor, and then I'm going to start like picking various charities like the Trevor Project, like PBS, like our local libraries. If I can figure out a way to make it to where when you donate, it goes through me and directly to them. My ideal solution here, y'all, is I make it to where if I'm spending, that is a bird. I did not see the exact details of said bird. But my ideal solution for this, y'all, is like an animal tent I could put up for our little cat shrine area. Various seeds and wildflowers that I'm planting. Various seed bomb packets and the like. Damn it, every time. But what I never want to do is be one of these YouTubers that every 5 minutes hits you with, y'all, here's my co-founder page. Please pay me money. And then it's like, what am I spending the money on? I never want that to be a question, y'all. I want you to know if you donate money to me or give money to me, because it won't be donations. I'm not a proper charity. But if you give money to me, I want to know it's going to go to the proper places. And right now, those places, outside of just providing for the animals and wildlife, would be directly to, damn, I don't know what kind of bird that is. I keep thinking it's a bat, but it's a type of night bird. Tiny little plucky fellow, cute. Give me a moment. I got to try to figure out how to shut the other stream up right quick. Did that work? I hope y'all didn't have to hear all that while this was going. That would be freaking frustrating. But the other thing I wanted to bring up was just right now, especially in the South, y'all out in the Midwest have your own problem with plague right now. That must be fun. Y'all realize that our health means absolutely nothing to us, hence tobacco and all that advertising to children again and shit. I get it, but y'all, real talk, if Uncle Jebediah was working in the, god damn it, phone. Give me a minute. For some reason, these things keep just, oh, he must want the thing back on. He's talking. But if Uncle Jebediah goes out to work in the field and suddenly he's getting real cranky anytime that you go to say hi to him and he's scared of water, yeah, get him to the hospital. Y'all, I realize medical debt's eventually going to start biting our asses again, like it did in the 1920s when people were having babies at home and the like. But I beg and beseech of you, unless you're going to take the first responder training, which most places offer, and if you can, take it by all means. But unless you're going to take the first responder training, God does not find a way. You do not have some special magical bullshit. If you do not have medical training, don't try to be a... But understand, there's a fine line between helping a person out and doing harm accidentally. I'm not going to say you should feel bad if you accidentally hurt someone, but that's because if you accidentally hurt someone, you will just feel bad if you're a good person. It's like, for example, the head back. I knew take a deep breath and breathe into them. What I didn't take into account was, for one, the rhythm, bum, 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 bum. Because doing CPR, fun fact, you're not actually getting air into the lungs as much as you're trying to keep the heart going until medical responders can get there. Also, you can be doing two things at once. So that's why you check to make sure the airway is clear, because if not, you could just be pushing whatever's blocking their airway into the lungs. And that's the opposite of what you want to do. But again, if you get the chance, take CPR training, take first responder training if you get the course. Most of the time, first responder training is just how to accurately apply a tourniquet, when to accurately apply a tourniquet, because it's not all solutions. That's like an extreme solution. That's, you lost a limb. It's not... Take a medical course, y'all. That's what I'm saying, okay? Because I've taken a few, but they are out of date, and I would not want to give you false information a lot, as it should, because we're all very different. My pneumonia is very different than your pneumonia. You know what I mean? That's why the doctors get the big money. It's why you need to be nice to your nurses and the like, because they don't get paid hardly anything, and it's also the worst day of responder who works for the hospital versus an urgent care employee. It's sort of like how I keep correcting Liz whenever she tries to pull the whole, well, you were in the military. No, I was not. I was a merchant marine, and that's only a classification I barely got because I spent so many years out on the river with everybody. I would not classify myself as that because I could not put that down on my taxes at the time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I spent a lot of time out on the river. Yes, I spent a lot of time working for a corporation on the river. Yes, they basically train you to be somewhat militaristic in both your loyalty to the cause and your loyalty to the team. But it was not the goddamn military. One, we get absolutely none of the benefits the military has. Two, it is not the goddamn military. We are not doing a service to our country. We are helping out a corporation make a shit ton of money. That's it. I mean, it's like working in the train yard or working as a taxi driver. You are not doing anything singularly. As a group, you're making America go like a Dunkin' Donuts employee. I think the lightning has finally passed. Hello, 4 viewers. Hello, Monserrat Gutierrez. Hello, Gabriel. Hello, Top Clips by G. Hello, Ebic Eman. At the moment, Top Clips by G. I'm rambling. I am rambling about my past while watching this lightning storm go through. Most of these videos are viewed in the past or in the future rather than in the present. Though I am happy to have all y'all here and we can talk, we would be better off as a society, whether that be socialism or communism. Personally, I'm more of a socialist, but I'm a bit of an anarcho-socialist at that. People being the focus, not the system. At the moment, and before anyone asks, I'm not homeless. I live, flip the camera, over in that direction, in the darkness. But I come over here and I wait for my ride to go to work. And this afternoon around 12 o'clock, assuming the stream participates, because it's been acting fucky here lately, but see, everybody's already gone. Why do I bother? But assuming the stream doesn't act fucky this afternoon, we'll be back around 12 for a 4-mile walk. I'm just waiting to go to work. Typically, I would have my lovely sunbonnet on, but weather doesn't require bonnet. Weather requires rain jacket. I also, unfortunately, due to the inclement weather, I don't have my trash bucket to pick up garbage on the way home. I have this to bring, like, food to the animals. Not going to be as much fun on the walk home stream, but it should still be a time if y'all want to show up. Hello, Malaysia Rocking Shorts. Shortest. I don't want to call you shortest if that's not what you were trying to own. Either way, welcome. How you doing? Right now, I was mostly filming the sky. Flip the damned camera. Thank you. I was mostly filming the sky while we waited because every time I flipped it around, the lightning would do something cool. I think the lightning portion of the storm has moved on. But since I have the opportunity, I'm also going to talk about a little bit of ecology. Every time I say that and I turn the camera around, lightning. But I would like to talk a little bit of ecology, being that I grew up in this area. And yeah, this is weird for August, y'all, and for July. Also, if you're in NOAA as a system that everyone could communicate. In a world of constantly change. Oh, thank you, Malaysia. I really appreciate the subscribers. Right now, I'm trying to grow the channel in the community. This is mostly a peaceful call to action kind of channel. I tell y'all what I've been up to. I show you what tiny things that are inconsequential that I do to try to make a difference. And I do my very best to inspire y'all to do the same. Again, no big hero, nothing big that I'm doing. I just pick it up and I dispose of it properly. In this case, I'm going to stick it next to my bag, carry it into work, and throw it away there. Little things, y'all. That's all it takes to make the world a better place. I mean, is it going to change the world overnight into the Starfleet utopia that I dream of? No. Nothing that I do is going to make this into Starfleet, y'all. Nothing. For us to acquire the Federation like I dream of, the Starfleet Federation, It's going to take everybody having a massive awakening and going, hey, there are 600 billionaires. They have homes and addresses. We're not going to hurt them. We're just going to isolate them. And now their money is our money. And our money means the collective as the whole, all of the human race, every earthling. And we're going to put this money into doing three things primarily. Educating and safe structures for people, a better, more comprehensive grasp on how to get the environment back in balance so we stop living on an alien planet to us. And lastly, revitalizing and getting into the space program in such a way that we can start getting some of the heavy metals we need that are so precious, but they require us to kill small children in order to mine them. Why? If we had an ample enough space program, we could snatch the materials we need out of the very solar system around us. It's not going to happen so long as 4 Nepo billionaires are fighting over who can grab the asteroid the best. But it could happen if every government around the world said, hey, y'all, no more nickel. No more nickel, no more titanium, no more cobalt. If you want that, you're going to have to mine it somewhere other than Earth. And each government said, well, we kind of need those materials still, so let's get to it. And they put the work in, we could get it, y'all. Humans can do amazing and terrifying things when we're motivated enough. And I guess frogs in the boiling pot analogy, just seeing it and witnessing it isn't enough. But like I said, that's when I bring up, don't rely solely on, come on camera, work with me here phone, work with me assistant. Hello, people. And I appreciate the hearts and laughter. But the other thing is, I look at the people of the past, people that, the term was used at Autage Films. They fought for a dawn and a light that they would never see. Benjamin Levy is someone that I talked about a lot the other day on my walk home. He was a 4-foot-tall man from England originally that eventually died in, I want to say, Pennsylvania. But he was one of the Quakers and Shakers here in the original U.S., and he was there when Pennsylvania finally outlawed slavery. And his exact words were, oh good, now I can finally die happy. This was almost about 4 or 5 years after his wife had passed, and he was an abolitionist. Not only that, but he was a vegan before it had a name. And when he sat down to dinner, he noticed a black servant, and he goes, oh, I didn't realize you had servants. And the man goes, oh no, he's my house slave. Benjamin Levy, with eccentric farmer, he literally just stood up, threw his napkin on the table, and said, I will not support a monster like you, and then left. No other words, no, well, my friend, I care very, no. It was, what you're doing is monstrous, what you're doing is a fucking crime, goodbye. And that was it. Hard 10 toes down pass. That's the kind of attitude you got to take with these things. Because that's the other thing, folks. I've got some, oh, thank you. And the thing is, it's like I've got cops that aren't enemies of my friend. Some of them are even friends to me, so to speak. Because I talk to them, I work with them and all that. That being said, the day, as soon as they outlaw homelessness and they start cracking down on homeless encampments and hurting people, my friendship with them ends. I'm not going to be violent. I'm not going to be cruel. But I'm also not going to condone anything they do in any way. Because that's what it takes, y'all. I hate to tell y'all this, especially being the melanin color I am. Hello, now my phone's got more cracks in it than the sidewalk. But it's because when I jump out of a truck real quick, sometimes I forget the phone. I'm not going to replace it until I absolutely have to. Why? Because I know what goes into getting the key components that require that phone, various components. So I beseech you, instead of getting that new phone because this one's turning shitty, don't. Instead, keep your old shitty phone until you literally have nothing else. Instead of us getting on this millennial Gen X craze of, well, let's let the kids have their fucking toys back and let's do things that'll actually fix the world around us. Because I can't tell you how much that the people around me think that drinking and smoking weed is an entire personality. And to make my point here, vape pen, THC, dope, whatever. I'm not saying don't. What I'm saying is this is not your personality. This is your habit or your addiction. Your personality, this is not your habit or your personality. This is your consumerism. Give me a second. I love it. I'm very happy with my little non-Stanley tumbler that a fan of a different series made. That's an item. That's consumerism. Give me a second, because did not think this scene through. A lot of my stuff's off the cuff, so as you'd imagine, very off the cuff. Now, this is your personality. The clothing, this is what I'm going to wear when I get off to make it easier. This is your personality. The things you make and create. This is going to be a shower curtain eventually. Well, not shower curtain, but bathroom window curtain. That way it lets in lots of light, but nobody sees my ass taking a shit or nothing, you know? But that's the thing. Hobbies. Things that we do. These are what makes you but these are the things that should really make the difference for you as a person. These are the things you should be proud of. Because who cares how many labubus you that can't. There was a saying. I don't remember the book that it was, but it was quite the burn, and it was such a burn to a fictional character, it stuck with me. Girl, there is nothing more special out of you than what came out of a bottle. And they were talking about a rebellious character who, like myself, dyes their hair frequently and just wants to be the anarchist, but constantly helped out the authoritarians in the book. So yeah, when one of the rebellion members was getting ready to be executed, and she looked demure and sad and like, oh my God, I'm losing this. I'm helping them to. The rebel leader just looks at her and goes, you think that you're special. You think that what you're doing is unique and it's uniquely hard. There is nothing special about turning on your comrades. There is nothing special about being a betrayer. The only special thing that came out of you came from a bottle. And yeah, that burned so deep, I went, oh, damn. And since then, I do have like a deep kind of dislike of most anarchists because, I'm sorry, but if you're a libertarian, we're not friends. You just creep me the fuck out. Because laws are important. Rules are important. I don't think you should have access to child exploitative material, for example, no matter how much you want it or how much money you're willing to pay or how many children you've groomed into thinking it's okay to send you nudie pics. There's no okay in that. No, hard pass, nothing allowed on that one. I think that ladies and gentlemen alike, if they choose to do male modeling or nude modeling, should get paid fairly and be taken care of as such. Not just thrown to the wolves, so to speak. I would say it's a call to common sense, but I'm starting to quickly realize common sense is not a fucking thing. Because most of the people that, oh, I've got common sense, are the same people that think it's okay that there are hundreds of working people spending more than half their income on vehicles that used to be very affordable. But now the rich people want their stupid jacked up trucks. And so working folks got to pay basically 4 paychecks to get a fucking clunker of a truck that's going to die on them, spitting gas and the environment while they go. Meanwhile, the rich little bitches are driving their fucking Super Duty Ranch King trucks that you got to climb a little ladder to get in. I see sometimes I'll go into their kitchen. It's like, holy fuck, you've got a KitchenAid mixer. You've got a cake maker. And I'm a cook, so I know how to use all of these little pieces. You've got a damn industrial grade chopping unit. I've got a knife. It's like, and a little bit of it is jealousy. You've got a fucking whole ass rotisserie oven here in your corner. That's badass. I'm a little jealous of that. For once your bullshit back, because in America we've shamed being poor. I can't tell you how many times some of my coworkers like Ms. Donna or somebody will come through and, hey, y'all, so-and-so died. We have all sorts of items here. Does anyone want anything? No, I'm good. No, I'm good. No. I'll look at them, and then everybody just looks at me like I'm a fucking pariah. What? They're not going to use them? It's items. And no, most of the time it's shit I don't want. Fishing shirts, fun bucket hats, weird collections. But at the same time, if I find a book bag, fuck yeah, I need one of those. If I find art supplies that aren't just aged out of being able to be used, fuck yeah, not only can I use those, but if I can't use them, I'll drop them off at the local library for the kids. When you get one of these kids in front of you that's, wow, I didn't even think I could do that, and you are giving them the tools to be able to do that, yeah. Oh, I probably should feel bad for this, but giving them like the first 3 of the Animorphs book series, or the first 5 in a Goosebumps series, and that really wasn't serialized, but you know what I'm talking about if you're a millennial. Seeing that moment that the kid goes, wow, it makes the difference. You get the same wow effect helping out somebody who ain't eaten in 2 days and you give them food. You get the same effect. Mixed message, because all that goes through my head is shit, I'm about to get hit. But I get it. They're dumbasses and, whoa, he's doing something that I should be doing. But whoa, I get to feel like I'm parasocially helping. Yay! You're not. Honking your horn does not fucking help me. Saying thank you does not fucking help me. Put money into Ko-Fi helps. Put money to your local library, your local 4-H club, your local PBS studio, or that works. That helps. Praying doesn't do a damn thing but make you feel better. And if that's what it takes at the time, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes we have to self-soothe, especially doing shit that's hard to do with no thanks. But that's just the thing, y'all. We do it not because I'm expecting thanks or I'm expecting praise. Sorry, I had a lot of coffee today. Or perhaps one day I won't have to schlepp my fat ass into work every day and cook for a bunch of ungrateful assholes, but I'll just make a ton of money picking up trash on the side of the road. No, that's not none of that. I will never ever. My goal is to do the exact opposite. I plan on taking this site and making it a force for good, making money for other people. The other side of that's a little bit of a greedy side because, yay, my boss is on her way here now. Because if anyone tries to virtue signal on me, bitch, what virtue signal are you trying to pull? I don't make a dime off of this. All I'm doing is making it better for those around me in any way I can. And yeah, that's my sword and shield on that shit. Most of these other ones, they're saying give money to these charities, but they won't show where it's going. That's why I respect the real ones. Dead Domain, for example. Shout out to them. They do great work. Squid Tips. Squid Tips got big out of luck and knowing how to utilize a bad situation. Squid Tips got big, so to speak, on here because he was riding around filming his important videos and a cop in one of these podunk towns pulled a gun on him just for being on a motorcycle. And he bought more cameras, bought some stickers, got a little company going together, and now is one of the few queer rights activists fucking bike. Fucking knock my boy for doing right. You can make money and still be a good person. But here's a hot tip. Nobody that lives in a mansion while other people are homeless is a good person, period, boo. I don't care. Hassan Piker, cool story, nice talking points. I like to hear what the man says, and he's pretty to look at. Not a good person overall. Still making fuck tons of money in capitalism. Still came up from nothing. Well, still came from nepotism. So, again, not atting my boy Hassan. I play way too many of his videos to fucking pick a fight with him. Maybe one day we'll talk to each other. I'd like to think that I'm a poor man's Bill Burr. But I'm doing my best. One day my comedy will be better. But for the moment, y'all, I can't even write material. Our pedophilic president is enough to make me just go, I can't top that. I can't make an insult that you won't sink below. I mean, I used to say America was cowards because, oh, we're so big and bold, but we don't mind handing our small children firearms and letting them kill each other rather than disarming ourselves and taking a little bit more time to understand how to martially protect ourselves. But we're the big badasses. Now it's just, oh, we'll let a pedophile run the entire goddamn show. I can't even mock that anymore. That's too much. I mean, we've got people hailing South Park as, oh, they're so amazing. They're two assholes that just made $1 billion saying that our president has a tiny penis. Now, they could have taken that $1,000 or that $1 billion and talked about how he's wanting to intern the homeless in camps, how he's wanting to put the mentally handicapped also in rehabilitation camps, but different camps, how he currently has concentration camps for immigrants. They could have hit on any of these hard stuff. Nope, he has a tiny penis. Ha ha ha! Isn't that hilarious, America? Your president has a tiny penis and he's kind of dumb. Bro, you could have said that about Biden. I mean, you can't really say it about Obama. He was kind of with it. But you could definitely say it about Bush. You could probably say that about most American presidents because most of them are fucking Nepo rich douchebags that were only good for the other rich asshole douchebags. And that's kind of the message that I want to send today. I need y'all to understand and be as militant as you can be without being violent. By being militant, I mean being unapologetically rude towards white supremacist and Nazi nonsense. And you know when to do it. When your grandmother's friend comes out with, oh, all these kids, they just don't want to work. I wish I could be homeless, but I just work too hard for it. Don't let them get away with that shit. Look them dead in the face and go, what exactly do you mean? Because most of the homeless people I know hold down 40-hour-a-week shifts. Or they're stuck in a situation where they can't because let the person who hasn't bathed this week make your food or serve your things. So how is it the homeless people's fault if you're not giving them a way out? If I stuck you in a hole and lit everything around the hole on fire, would I then laugh at you because you couldn't survive in the hole? Because you don't have the gumption to dig around the fire and get out? Or would I try to give you a ladder and put out the fires that I set around you? That's the thought of the day, y'all. The other thought is just the whole self-harm debacle and debate. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you strong. A lot of people self-harm. Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you do weightlifting at the gym when you don't need to lift those heavy weights? Congratulations. You are also pretty, y'all. Put good out there in the world. Put less negativity. And by that, I don't mean turn away. I don't mean not acknowledge the negativity. I mean spitefully, angrily push against it. Fight back against it in the best way we can with kindness. It's like my coworker. Well, what the fuck are you doing? I'm picking up litter, motherfucker. I'm talking to every motherfucker to listen to me regardless of which side of the fence they're on. I'm getting called a fag. I'm getting called a piece of shit. I'm getting called a commie. I'm getting slapped the fuck around occasionally. But you know what? I'm still there to tell you that your president's a goddamn pedophile and we got to work together to get ourselves out of this. I'm still there to tell you, yeah, it's getting fucking hotter. I can tell you because I'm walking it. I'm walking here. It's, y'all, all I'm doing is saying let's work together to make it better, or let's all just at least be angrily crying about it while we're dying. I thought the poem was don't go gently into that good night, not let's hope the president lubes up our cheeks before he fucks us in the ass. Just my thought, though. Don't be violent. Take care of each other. Try to attribute it to ignorance rather than malice. And I'll see y'all around 12 o'clock. Be good. Be safe. Stay hydrated. If you're in the lowlands of Georgia right now, stay indoors. Do not go out in this shit unless you have to, and then limit your time to 10 to 20 minute stints, if that. Be safe out there, y'all. Above all else, be safe. And I'll see you around 12:30-ish probably. It depends on how the signal does, because yesterday I planned on doing a stream and it turned into a whole thing. Hopefully today goes better. The plan should have rolled over on the phone today, so it should be just streamlined. Either way, my ride should be here in a minute. I love y'all. Be safe out there. I still got to learn where the edges of this camera are. I love y'all. Be safe out there. Stay strong. Y'all are awesome. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Endure and survive, my family. Endure and survive.